What is going on, guys? Amazing Mike Man here, and Jurrac is finally here. First things first, I want to apologize. I know I'm a bit late on an updated modern Jurrac profile since the release, but hey, better late than never, right? So here we are. Two things though. Crossout was hit, so that matters a lot, and also we did not get Burial Bicorn. So my previous list is not really feasible. So we have to readjust and do things differently. Also, we still only have one Misc, and that's unfortunate. So one Misc, one Crossout, and the fact that we don't have Burial Bicorn does significantly hinder pure Jurrac. So unfortunately, we do have to mix it with some babies. We need to give Jurrac just a bit more gas because those nerfs do matter. So first off, let's talk about why those nerfs matter, right? Now, the reason those three nerfs really affect the pure version of Jurrac is because the pure version of Jurrac really focuses on the one-card combo with Stego, and the end board of that combo is very, very, invulnerable to board breakers. Like, board breakers do nothing to it, but the trade-off is that it's very vulnerable to hand traps, right? Imperm, Nib if you don't have Misc, just ashing the Stego. Those things just shut down the one card combo. So Crossout checks that, Misc checks that, and then obviously Burial Bicorn is a part of the one card combo. So that's the reason those three things really matter. So now we have to address what's the best we can do with what we got. Even though we only have one Crossout, one Misc, and no Burial Bicorn, what's the best we can do? And I think the answer to that question is throwing in babies, ground Xenos, triple Volcano, triple Ovi, and making it so we can really push through Interruption, right? Justice Hunters is coming up soon, so the non-engine will change for that format. However, the Jurrac engine will not change until we get Burial Bicorn, or if we get 3 Misc, or if Crossout were to come to 2 or 3, then we could reassess how we want the deck to be built. We might main deck a certain number of Pankratops in the upcoming Justice Hunters meta, because I hear that Pank will be really good in that meta, but I haven't tested that yet, so only time will tell. I will be uploading a Justice Hunters Jurrac video once that format's been around for a bit, and I've had time to test and really figure out how I want the list to look like for that format. All right, now let's get into the card by card. We're on 3 Stego. He's the one card combo. He's really important. You want to see him. Also, if you open multiple of him, he's a Jurrac name, so you could just pitch it to draw 2. He's really good. We're going to be on 3 Megalo. Megalo is fine to see because you can just special it from hand. He's part of an extender. If you have a way to pop him, he can set up an interruption, which is one of your nukes. You need 3 for the one card combo, but also he is part combo, right? Because if you combo him with Oviraptor, Ovi plus Megalo is full combo, as well as Volcano plus anything is full combo, and especially Volcano plus Megalo is pretty good. 2 Aeolo is necessary for the combo. It's you don't really want to open it, so it's on 2. We're on 1 Misc and 1 UCT. I strongly believe that 1 UCT is the way to go. I see other people main decking 2. I don't think that's correct. The reason I think that is because in old school, not old school, but scrap dinos, or maybe the Ryugi or whatever, where you want UCT for the end board, and you maybe want a second UCT for the grind if you want to kill them or whatever, that would make sense. I don't think you need to put UCT as part of your end board, because your end board is going to be 4 nukes, and having played a good number of test games, if you can accomplish the end board, you're probably winning. It's very hard for a lot of decks to play through 4 nukes. So you really don't need to summon UCT as part of your end board. It's better to hold that UCT for the turn 3 to kill them, or for grind game. I really don't think you need to summon UCT as part of your end board. So that's why I strongly believe in Jurrac specifically to main deck just 1, because you don't want to see it either, right? You're going to search it as part of your combo, and it doesn't really accomplish too much in your hand unless you're going second and you're going for OTK. But even then, you could search it going second with Oviraptor, depending on your hand, right? So it could be fine going second, but I really don't think it's great as more than 1. We're on triple OV. I've seen some people play 2 because they want the 5-card normal summon. I still think I'm also on 45 cards, so maybe it's even more correct to be on 3 OV. But the reason I'm on 3 OV is because it's part of the combo, right? If you don't see Stego, OV plus Megalo is good. Also, OV plus Volcano is great too, right? So what feels amazing is you normal summon OV, they're going to ash it, they're going to imperm it, because back in the day, if you had the 2-card combo, OV plus Baby or whatever, if they imperm or ash your OV and you didn't have Misc, that was it. So a lot of people, and since Misc is at 1, a lot of people are going to imperm or ash the OV to end your turn. And then you just activate Volcano, pop OV, get Stego, and then boom, full combo. And they just burned a hand trap for no reason. So OV is pretty good, especially when you pair it with extenders like Volcano or Ground Xeno or Megalo, right? And we're on on 2 babies, 1 petite. I've seen it in a lot of the other Jurrac lists. This is the ratio a lot of people are going for: 2 baby, 1 petite. I just said fuck it, I'll try that because I don't want to go on too many babies because like in old dinosaurs, right, where you had like archosaurs, oviraptors, miscs, falsidig, ground Xeno, you had so many different ways to pop the baby, and baby comboed with so many cards in your hand. So that's why in those old lists you might see like 3 baby, 2 petite, or something like that, where like you really have constant access to just popping the baby, and that was the way to play. This babies act more as like a supplementary engine to help you kind of push through interruption. It's not, you don't really want to open them, but if you do open them, you have enough cards that can kind of pop them to really, like they're nice, and especially with Xenometeors. And we'll get into why I play Xeno and Frost in a second. But the 2-in-1 seem to make the most sense because Baby does not combo with Megalo, Baby does not combo with Aeolo, so it's not as much as like a good combo piece as it once was. So that's why I've seen the 2-in-1. It makes sense to play 2-in-1 since you just want it as like a bit of a supplementary engine. We're on 1 Xenometeors and 1 Frost. I've seen a lot of people choose not to play the Frost because it's a brick, and just play the Xenometeors because it's a level 6 tuner that can summon itself from hand and can help you facilitate your full combo, right? Also, PSA to all Jurrac duelists: Frostosaurus and Drillignathus. Here's Transcendosaurus Drillignathus. I think that Frostosaurus and Drillignathus are mandatory. They make going second a lot stronger, and they help you push through interruption. If they stop your plays, your Xenometeors can actually do something, helping you extend further into interruption. Xeno can pop babies, it can pop Megalo so you can get Astro in the grave. It can also make Drill and Lars. Drill can help you OTK under a Dino Lock. It also lets you recycle Misc so you can guarantee follow-up. When you nuke the board, you can use Drill's effect to shuffle back Frostosaurus and revive itself. So when it's your turn, since you've shuffled back the Frostosaurus, if you cannot kill the opponent, you have the option to use Xeno to special back the Frost and make Lars for the grind game. The vanilla helps Jurracs do 2 things the deck normally struggles with. It lets you push through interruption, and it gives you 2 more avenues of follow-up. The 2 avenues specifically is Drillignathus, special summoning the banished Miscellaneosaurus. The other avenue is just going into Drill and shuffling back the vanilla so you can make Lars in the grind game. So those are 2 different avenues of follow-up that Xeno and Frost provide. Okay, we're on 2 ground Xeno. That's the most common, most popular ratio that I see. So I want to address something. You could play 3 ground Xeno and maybe bump the babies up, so you have more likely for you to open like the ground Xeno plus baby combo. But then if you play too many babies, you run the risk of running into situations where you don't have a card to pop the baby, because Jurracs aren't, they're not built in the same way like Scrap Dinos were, where you're playing Archosaur and all these different cards. And if you do throw Archosaur and like Pill in there, it becomes too cluttered with too many different engines. So I want to address something before I proceed with the rest of the cards in here. I'm not on Cadoterra. I am not on Polymerization. I'm not on Hornsaurus, and I'm not on Gigantozauer. I am also not on Archosaur, and I'm not on Pill. These are intentional decisions. So let's start with our Cadoterra and Polymerization. The reason I'm not on Kaido and Poly, I don't think they do much for the deck. So Kaido and Poly, it gets you an extra body, sure, when you banish, like for Misc or something, you get an extra body, and you could recycle Polymerization, sure. But it doesn't... I know some people play it for Hornsaurus, and Hornsaurus can get you to Volcano, but the deck is focused on getting to Astero, and they have a lot of ways to do that, and you don't really need... I don't really feel like I need to throw in 2 bricks to get to Volcano, right? Because I have like so many different ways to just get my engine online. I don't think I need, it's 2 bricks are necessary. And then some people like to play Gigantozauer, and especially because Ground Xeno is a fusion card in the graveyard, you could play Gigantozauer, but and it could be like part of your end board, because when it's popped, you can pop a card your opponent controls. So it's like an additional pop, but like you have to play Poly for that to consistently bring it out. I mean, sometimes you could do it with a Ground Xeno in the grave, but Drillignathus is just better than Gigantozauer because it actually lets you recycle Misc, and you already have 4 nukes. Like 1 extra pop isn't really going to make a difference between whether or not you'll lose the game. So is it really worth playing Poly and then Kaido so you can consistently go into, and then on top of the Frost you're already playing, on top of the Aeolos, like, I really don't think that Kaido and Poly make too much of a difference. Now I'm also on no Archosaur, no Pill. This one is a bit more like, there are somewhat decent reasons for playing Archosaur and Pill in here, and the reason is Baby plus Ovius combo, or Misc plus Ovius combo. Because if you're on like 1 Archosaur, you could go Ovi search Misc, banish Misc, get Arco pop baby. Or, Misc plus baby, Misc banish, get Arco pop baby. You know what I mean? And there are going to be times where you open like Ovi plus baby, and you're like, shit, this isn't combo. because you don't have Archosaur and Pill. And yes, that can happen, but you know what's also going to happen if you're on Archosaur and Pill? You're going to brick on the fucking Archosaur and Pill too. So it's going to be like, pick your poison, right? And what's going to happen more often, especially considering you're already on the Aeolos, you're already on like Frostosaurus. And in my testing, I've tested Archosaur and Pill, and I've tested it without. And yeah, it does happen on occasion where you can open like a hand that combos with Baby, that would normally combo with Baby if you had Arco Pill, but also when I was playing Arco and Pill, you're bricking on Arco and Pill, and those could have been more useful cards. And also, like, you have so many other ways to combo. Volcano's an extender. Ground Xeno's an extender, right? Like, you have so many other ways to combo. Falsa Dig, right? You have so many other ways to combo that, like, it very rarely ever comes up where I draw a hand where I'm like, shit, if I had Arco, this would be full combo, but I don't. Like, you know what I mean? So personally, I think I'm not missing Arco and Pill. I'm really not. I'm actually liking the consistency without Arco and Pill. Because again, I'm only on 2 baby, 1 petite. If you were playing way more babies, then maybe that'd be a different story, because then you'd be consistently opening babies. But you really only miss Arco and Pill if you see one of these 3 cards in combination with another very small select few cards. So that, you know what I mean? I really don't think Arco and Pill are necessary. I'm on 2 because that's a standard ratio. It pops your babies, combos with Ovi, combos with Falsa Dig. You can just like pop a Mulcharmy or something and get your Xeno online, and then your Xeno could pop any dinosaur to get Frost, and then that opens up a lot of lines with Drill or with Lars. Or with the level 4, you could just Synchro and get a Stero, and then once you have a Stero, you have combo. Like, a Stero gets your Volcano can get Stego, and then you could combo get Misc in the grave that way. So, Ground Xeno is really good, like a lot of synergy. Okay, so we're on 3 Falsa Dig. What Dino deck is not playing 3 Falsa Dig? This card's insane, you know? 3 Volcano. I've seen some people play 1. I've seen some people play 2. I am full believer of 3 Volcano, and here's why. It's an extender, and I'm building this deck with the intention of, hey, I'm going to get hand trapped. I need to push through this interruption. OV plus Volcano is great. It's more consistent with your engine. You open like Baby or like Megalo Aeolo plus Volcano, you have combo right there, right? Also, let's say you open like the 1-card combo or another combo, and you have like an extra Volcano in hand you don't need, you pitch it off of the combo, you draw into some hand traps, right? Like, it's not a bad card. Dude, Volcano's great. I've never once been in a situation where I'm like, oh fuck, I wish Volcano was something else. I'm like, no, Volcano is for sure a 3-of. It's great. Okay, now for the non-engine. I'm on Called By and I'm on Crossout. The cool thing about these quick plays is and also Droplet too, right, when you go second, is when you activate Stego, and you activate its effect at a destroy card in the field, and they go Imperm or Ash or something, and you chain Crossout or Called By, when the effect resolves, you can pop the quick play spell you activated, and that's huge because it gives you an extra body and it makes your board a bit stronger. The combo will change a bit, yeah, it's pretty cool. And yeah, when you go second, you can do the same thing with Droplet, right? You normal summon Stego, activate its effect, they go Imperm or something, and you chain Droplet, send Stego. Now Stego will resolve, and then but you have to pop a card in the field. So what you're going to do is you're going to pop the Droplet, and then you get the 4 bodies, and you continue playing that way. So continuing with the non-engine, we're on 2 Ghost Spell. You might be wondering, Ghost Spell, that's an interesting choice. Why Ghost Spell? Is it for like prayers and Mitsurigi or something? And I'll tell you why Ghost Spell, bro. Because this deck's Kryptonite is when the opponent has Called By the Grave. There are 2 cards that just completely shit on your end board, and they open these cards, it's a wrap, you lose. There's no game to be played. It's Called By the Grave, and which is thankfully 1, and not every deck plays it. A lot of decks play it, but not every deck plays it. And Sales Ban. And I haven't come up with a good solution for Sales Ban yet. Thankfully, at least from the games I've been playing, it doesn't seem too common. But yeah, Sales Ban shits on you. Sales Ban, call a Stero, you lose. But yeah, if you go first and they just Called By your Astro, you lose too. So that's why Ghost Spell is important, because Ghost Spell stops Called By, and it also has other applications too. Ghost Spell is not too bad. I'm on triple Fuelos, and of course double Perulia. Fuelos is just like insane. Of course I'm going to be on 3. Cool thing about this deck is you can actually Mulcharmy your opponent going first. So like, part of your combo, you set Impact, right? And then when it's the opponent's turn, whenever you flip Impact and nuke everything, there might be some chain links involved because you might pop a Baby or something. And then you also might pop Drill Ignathus, and then you go chain 1 Baby, chain 2 Drill, and then chain 3 Fuelos, and then they're just kind of like, fuck. You know, and now going second, they have to play through the nukes and a Fuelos. So it's pretty good. Droll, because of like Mitsurigi and Mitsurigi Raziel, is just like the best Like a lot of people consider it the best hand trap right now. Cool thing about Jurrac is you are like unfazed by Droll, unless your hand is specifically like a fuck ton of Falsa Digs and Ground Xeno. But like the Stego one card combo, Droll doesn't do anything to you. You search one time, and that's when you search off of Ovi. So like if you open Stego, that's fine. And if you go like Falsa Dig for Stego and they Droll you there, you could still do the one card combo without searching. Ovi will just dump a card and the combo just changes slightly. So I mean, your Droll really doesn't do anything to you unless you have like a very specific hand with like a bunch of Falsa Digs or Ground Xenos, which would be nuts if not for the Droll, and that can happen unfortunately sometimes, but most of the time you really are just unfazed by Droll. Volcano doesn't care about Droll, Stego doesn't care about Droll. I mean, it stops the Megalo draw 2 effect sometimes. The OV searching, the Falsa Dig, like there are some things, but like you're not really searching too much because Stego just does everything, man. Yeah, Perulia's good. I think I might bump it up to 3 in Justice Hunters format because K9 and what's that other deck? Vanquish Soul, yeah. And I'm on 2 Ash. The reason I'm on 2 Ash, it's a hard ones per turn. A lot of the hard ones per turns, I try to keep to 2, right? Like Ghost Bell, Ash, Nib. But I side in a 3rd Ash going first because you really want to stop the opponent's Mulch armies. But 2 Ash is just like a good number, I feel like. Because Ash is also like very low impact if you're not stopping a Mulch army with it. So, I feel like 2 is fine. 2 Nib, it's a hard ones per turn, so you really don't want to see multiples of it. But it's good. It synergizes really good with the end board because like when you have the end board for nukes, you're not really going to be able to stop things with destruction protection, right? So Nib covers that. The cool thing about Nib and Meteor is they cover each other, right? Nib contribute all monsters in the field, but it doesn't do anything to spells and traps. Meteor destroys all cards in the field, including spells and traps. So Meteor covers what Nib can't cover, and Nib covers what Meteor can't cover. Because like Meteor can't cover cards that cannot be destroyed by card effects, but Nib doesn't care. Nib tributes them. And then 2 Imperm, you could bump this to 3 if like if Imperm's really good in this format. I like maining Droplet, but this format wasn't really a board breaker format, so in the upcoming Justice Hunters format, I'll probably main Droplet. We'll see how things shape up. And then the 1 Impact, I think Impact is really good. That 4th nuke is really good because it stops like if someone like activates a continuous spell or a field spell that has like an on activation effect, you could chain impact and nuke it, so it's like really good. Also, it helps you with your Fualoses, and just like that 4th nuke is good. It's also not too bad to draw because you could pitch it off of Megalo. I think Impact is fine. I've seen some people choose not to play it. I like playing it, and you could always just side it out if you go second. So speaking of which, my philosophy is in this build specifically, if I go first, I keep Impact, side out Frost, right? But if I go second, keep in Frost, side out Impact. The reason is because Frost makes going second a lot better. You can OTK, pushes through Interruption more. And then, Impact is pretty obvious. I don't think I feel like I have to explain that one. So here's the side. I have like 5 1-ofs. The 1-of Duster, it's just a good for going second, clearing back row. Perulia for decks that summon from hand a lot. Ash for going first. Doggeran for towers, cards like the Lunalights. And just in general, it's not bad going second. And then Velfito. I'm siding Velfito because Kashtira. If they go, I can't remember the name of the specific Kashtira, but the one that banishes from your extra deck, the opponent can look through it. If they banish your Velfito, like your Stego doesn't do shit. You can't go into Meteor, you can't go into Astero. Like, if they banish your Velfito, you're cooked. So that's why I side a second Velfito, just for the Kashtira matchup, so that does not happen. 2 Droplet, it's a good card. It's a hard once per turn, so that's why I'm only on 2. And it's just good going second. We're on 2 Lightning Storm, just a good going second card for certain decks. 2 Meows, it's great versus the Malice deck. Then 2 D-Barrier, it's really great going first, especially because like in this deck you can't really play like, I don't know, Anti-Spell or some of those like floodgatey ass like Rivalry or Gozen or some shit. You can't really play that in this deck because you're going to nuke the field, right? What's the point of that? So lingering effects like D-Barrier is really good here. And then Lancia is for like Malice. Alright, here's the extra. I mean, yeah, for the full combo, 3 Astero, 3 Meteor necessary. And the Velfito is necessary to climb into the first Astero or to climb into Meteor if you're going second. I'm on 1 Changying. This is cool because you only really make this on turn 3. So let's say you go first and you set up your board, you nuke everything, and you can't kill them and they have some follow-up in the graveyard. This is great because, one, it's going to be huge with all your banished Jurracs from all the times you've nuked them. Also, if it were to be destroyed by your further nukes, you can continuously protect it, which is pretty good. And then also, if a card is banished, let's say you summon UCT or you recycle Misc and use Misc again, you could banish a card from your opponent's field and grave. So anything that was like invulnerable to Meteor that couldn't be destroyed or maybe has like a graveyard effect in the follow-up, you can just like interrupt with this card. How do you make this? Well, on the opponent's turn, when you summon Meteor, you can bring back a tuner. So you can bring back Xeno Meteorus and then part of the follow-up is you're going to have an Ovi in hand. So then you just normal Ovi, sync Ovi plus Meteorus, make this guy. And then Ovi will have like UCT, which will guarantee your banish effect. So you're going to be guaranteed to be able to trigger this. So this is a direction you could go in turn 3 if like the situation calls for it. Depends on like, do they have something on field that managed to survive all the meteor nukes? Do they have stuff in grave that's going to be a problem if you can't kill them? Then of course we're on the Volzars. They're just good for certain situations. You can't really make them in your main combo, but they come up in a grind. They come up if you can't do the main combo and you just need to do like just standard dinosaur stuff. I mean, Volzar Delca are just good. We're on this guy. He's mainly there for time, to burn for 1,000. Comes up. That's if you go into time. He's also there. There are going to be situations where you go second and you might not have enough damage to go for game, and they might be at like 1,000 life points or less, and then you could make this and then just pop it with UCT or a meteor, and then you just win. So this guy is good at finishing off the opponent. Pause. No. But he's good at finishing off the opponent, and there's a specific situation where he is necessary to kill the opponent. And then Dugaris, you need Dugaris, because in the standard combo, he's important to kill. Because this deck does not very grind well. Like, if you accomplish a one-card combo, everything, like, there's a specific game plan you need to follow, and this guy's part of that game plan to kill on turn 3. Lars and Drillignathus come up because of your rank 6 engine with Xeno, Meteorus, and Frost. I kind of went over them already. SP Little Knight really only comes up if you're in a losing situation. Little Knight does come up, but usually only if you're in like a really bad situation where you open like, I don't know, Megalo plus Aeolo, and you have to like link these two off for like a Little Knight pass. Like Little Knight does not come up super often. Little Knight's flexible. You don't need Little Knight in my opinion. All right, man. So we're gonna go into the combos. We're gonna start off with the 1-card combo with Stego. Okay. So we're gonna start with Falsa Dig. We're gonna go ahead and add Stego to hand. We're gonna go ahead and normal Stego. Activate the effect. Pop itself. Send Misc, special to 4 level 1s. Aeolo, Tribute, Revive Stego. I think you guys all know this first part. We're going to climb into Astero, basically. Make Velfito, and then we're going to go Aeolo, bring back Stego again. And then 4-5-1, we're going to make Astero. Here we're going to use Astero's effect, setting Volcano from deck. We're going to activate Volcano. And we're going to banish Misc and another monster. We're going to go with Aeolo because we have 2, or Velfito, doesn't really matter. We're going to banish Aeolo, summon a baby from deck. Here we're going to go ahead and activate Volcano, pop in the baby, and special summoning our 3rd Megalo, right? If you open the 3rd Megalo, you can summon a Stego, doesn't really matter, because you can summon that Megalo from hand or pitch it to draw 2, depending what you want to do, but you really want to pop this Megalo with Oviraptor to get the 3rd Astero, so your final nuke. So we're going to trigger baby, special summon Ovi. And we're going to do Ovi, add Xeno to hand, right? Now, if you were drolled, you could just send Xeno and the board would just change a little bit, but it's essentially the same thing. We're going to go ahead and activate Oviraptor, popping Megalo to revive the baby. And here what's going to happen is we're going to do Chainlink 1 Megalo, Chainlink 2 Xeno Meteorus. So what's going to happen here is Megalo is going to send that Astero. And here we could sync Xeno Meteorus and Oviraptor for our final Astero. We're going to activate Astero's effect, setting Impact from deck. So here's what we have here. We have full combo at this point. We have 2 Asteros on field, so we have 2 Summon Negates, and we have 4 nukes. We are not using Volcano's effect to summon Meteor. The opponent can read it and not play into it. And it also takes a minute for them to play into it, right? So what we have is 4 nukes. The 4 nukes we have is these 2 Asteros once they go to the grave. We have Impact, and we have the 3rd Astero. So the cool thing is if you have like a Mulcharmy, the first nuke gets everything, and you have the option to protect your Astero if like you have the option to protect your Asteros if like you don't have any Mulcharmies in hand and you want to keep them on field for their summon negates. Or if you're thinking, okay, nukes are going to be more valuable in this board state, you don't have to protect them, and you could just nuke everything. So let's say we go Astero, or Impact, sorry. We go Impact, we nuke everything. Nuke everything. What's going to happen here is we're going to go Baby effect. And Baby can summon Oviraptor, and Oviraptor can search another Oviraptor. Or, what you can do is you can just Baby into Baby, and then Baby into Baby, and just kind of like, or Baby into Petite, and then just float with the babies, because you're going to nuke multiple times, right? And what you can do that, and then get into Oviraptor. So it's like, depends what you want to do. You have like different options depending on the board state, which is cool. That's a good thing. But yeah, so once you nuke everything, you have 3 Asteros in grave, and here you have the Oviraptor in hand for the follow-up. Here you have all the nukes. So let's say we need to nuke them again with Meteor, Banish, and banish Velveto, summon Meteor, nuke everything, bam, destroy. Usually, you want to revive Aeolo, but sometimes you get to revive Xeno. But the cool thing here is like what you revive with Meteor is totally flexible. You have 3 options: Megalo, Aeolo, Xeno. Let's go Aeolo here, because this is what's going to happen most of the time. End phase, alright, now it's your turn, boom, boom. Let's say you nuked everything, they have no more plays. Go Oviraptor, Ovi, search, UCT. And then you just go Ovi, pop, special Stego, overlay, make Dugaris, special UCT, banish like any 2 dinos, doesn't really matter, like Meteor and, I don't know, Baby, or Oviraptor, doesn't matter. And then we're going to declare, detach, and now UCT is 7,000. This is 8,200 on board, so that's an option you could do. Cool thing is, like, you can go into the Frostosaurus stuff. There's lots of different options here. You might be wondering, Amazing Mike Man, you did not go into Frostosaurus. What's the point of even playing that brick? Well, that's just one of the combos. Frostosaurus, like I said, it lets you push through interruption. It provides a lot of options, and it does come up. If you don't have to, I wouldn't summon Frost, because I'd rather save that for the grind game, right? But there are situations where Frost really does come up. Like, it comes up so often enough that I feel like I should play it, especially going second. So we're going to go over this 2-card combo. We're going to go Ovi plus Megalo. We're going to do Ovi. We're going to activate Ovi. We're going to send Stego. We're going to activate Megalo's effect, special summon Megalo. And here we're going to activate Ovi effect. Ovi, pop Megalo, special Stego from the grave. We're going to activate Megalo's effect, sending Estero. Here we're going to activate Stego, pop a card we control, send for, special at level 4. So we're going to go ahead and pop itself. We're going to send Misc, special summon 4 level 1s. Here we're going to climb into our Estero again. Cool thing is you can make Velveto and Meteor with Oviraptor, right? Because the non-tuners just need to be dinosaurs. So you can use Oviraptor or Misc for these. So we're going to go ahead and make Velveto. And then we're going to go ahead and activate Aeolo, Tribute, itself, bring back Stego. And then 541, what do we have here? We have Estero. Now we're going to activate Estero's effect, setting Volcano from deck. We're going to go ahead and activate Volcano. And then we're going to go ahead and declare Misc, banish itself, and Velveto. Could be anything you have to as a second copy of. So the important thing to remember is you want one of each of the main deck Jurracs. 1 Aeolo, 1 Stego, 1 Megalo. At bare minimum, you need these in the grave, because these give you like flexible options, right? So this is going to be for like rank 4s. Megalo, you could have more Jurrac cards in hand and to like draw 2 off of on turn 3. Maybe you draw into 1. Maybe you already have follow-ups. Instead, Ovi just searches a Jurrac name, so you can get that draw 2 later. And then Aeolo gives you the flexibility to get either of these 2. So we're going to banish 2, and we're going to summon. So from here, when you banish Misc, you want to banish 2, you have a couple options. You can go Baby, you can go Petite. The lines are different, so I'll kind of go over each. And there's also an option where you just don't banish Misc, and this is actually kind of like a decent, like a fairly good end board. You just end on 3 nukes instead of 4, which is still good. A lot of decks cannot play through 3 nukes. The thing is that you need to prioritize is you need to have follow-up, right? If you open like 2 Ovis and you have another Ovi in hand, then you might want to go for this play, which is what I'm going to go over here, because this will get you the 4th nuke. But this is like if you already have follow-up. We're going to special Petite. We're going to go Volcano, pop Petite. Volcano effect, special like anything, just Stego, right? Doesn't really matter. Then we're going to trigger Petite. Petite will special Xeno. And then here we could just sync Xeno and Petite, or Xeno and Stego, to make our final Estero. Estero, activate effect, set, impact from deck. But this is like assuming you have like another way of follow-up. So in this situation, you have to have like an Ovi in hand or a Baby in hand. And I'll go over that in a second, how because most people will think, oh, Baby's not really follow-up. It is, and I'll go over how that is, because having a Baby in hand is still like a pretty good follow-up. But here you have 4 nukes, and then you kind of just tribute the Aeolo to go Megalo, and the reason you do that is because when you do nuke the field, the Megalo can send your final Stego, so your top decks will be better, because you don't want to draw the 3rd Stego. So that's one option. Let's say instead of that, we can go ahead and special summon Baby, right? We're going to go ahead and Volcano, activate, pop Baby, and that's going to go ahead and special summon our Stego here. And then Baby's going to trigger summoning the 2nd Baby. And then here, we're going to go ahead and activate Aeolo, tribute, special, Stego. Or no, sorry, special Megalo. Now this doesn't seem like a full, like a full board, but what it does is having that baby gets you your follow-up, right? Here is what this really accomplishes. You have 3 nukes. It may look like you only have 2, but you have Astero here, and then once this Astero gets nuked, that's your second nuke. And so let me kind of run it through like this, right? We go end phase, it's the opponent's turn. We have 1 summon negate. Let's say they go through that, and now it's time to nuke. We're going to activate this Astero. We're going to activate effect, banish itself, and Aeolo, right? Summon Meteor. Meteor's going to trigger, nuke everything. You don't want to protect here because you want Megalo to get destroyed. So you're going to nuke everything, and you're going to go chain 1, baby, chain 2, Megalo, right? So what's going to happen is that's going to send Astero, and baby's going to trigger, and you could summon Ovi, search Ovi, and here you have combo. You can do the Dugaris UCT play on turn 3 and kill them. And can they play through 2 more nukes? Probably not. So you probably win. Don't get me wrong, 3 nukes plus a summon negate is hard to play through. So I would prioritize follow-up over a crazy strong board, because if you do nuke the fuck out of them, and they have a graveyard full of follow-up effects, and you can't kill them, they're gonna kill you. So you need to have game, or you need to have some way to establish a Volzar's, or interruption, like a Volzar's or Cheng Ying or something on turn 3 where you really control the game, or kill them. That's why follow-up is the most important thing in the combo. Whenever you do the combo, I don't care if it's 2 nukes plus summon negate plus follow-up. You need to get the follow-up. That's what you need to prioritize. So even though you don't have a full-on 4 nukes here, the important thing is 3 nukes plus summon negate plus follow-up is still going to be hard to beat. I don't think I've ever had it where I've had to use all 4 nukes. No, maybe a couple times, but most of the time it only takes 2 or 3 nukes, really. So that's one option. Another option is what I'm going to go over right now. Okay, I'm going to have to do the combo again because the nukes kind of made it too much to do that. So we're just going to run through it real quick. Ovi, send Stego. Ovi, pop Megalo. Special Stego. Megalo effect, send Astero. Stego effect, pop itself, send Misc. Special 4 level 1s. Then we're going to go sync, make Velfito. And then we're going to Aeolo, revive Stego. And then here, 5, 4, 1. Astero effect. Set, activate. Okay, and here, actually, you could just activate Aeolo, tribute, revive Megalo. And bam. This is a solid end board. It may seem incomplete, but it accomplishes a fuck ton. You don't even have to use Misc right away. So what this accomplishes, you have 3 nukes plus follow-up. You go end phase, it's the opponent's turn, whatever. They try to summon something, like a Riziel rank 4. You go boom, negate, you banish Ovi and Velfito. Sure. Now it's time to nuke something. They're committing more to the field. Okay. We're going to go Astero, banish itself, and Megalo. Summon Meteor. Meteor, nuke everything. Do not protect with Volcano. And you're going to revive a tuner. Revive a different tuner, not Megalo, because then it won't get the effect. And then we're going to activate Megalo's effect, because Megalo is destroyed. Megalo will send Astero, and bam. Here, you have 2 more nukes that have to play through. They already had to play through a summon negate and 1 of your nukes. So this is 3 nukes total, plus Misc for follow-up. Because on your turn, you just Misc. So let's say this is enough to do the job, whatever. Now it's your turn, you draw for turn. You go Misc, banish, 1, 2, 3, and 4. You summon good ol' Oviraptor. Oviraptor, search UCT, and bam. Same thing. Boom, you have access to Dugaris. If you can get to Dugaris UCT, you just win. When you're doing follow-up, you need to make sure you have access to Dugaris UCT. And that is one of the ways. Okay, here's another way you could do it. You can go Ovi, effect, top Stego, Megalo effect, special self, Ovi, pop Megalo, and then revive Stego, right? And then Megalo's gonna trigger, Megalo's gonna send Astero. Here you're gonna activate Stego, pop itself, send Misc, special 4 level 1s, climb into Astero. Aeolo, bring back Stego, yep. Y'all know the drill. 5, 4, 1, makes 10, we're gonna go with Astero. And here we're gonna activate Astero, we're going to set the field spell, Volcano. Now what we can do is we can go Misc, declare, banish, 2, summon Petite. Here we go Volcano, pop Petite, special Jurrac. So we're going to special summon 1 of the Stegos. And then Petite's going to trigger, we summon Xeno. Here we go Xeno, pop Stego. You might be wondering, why not just Aeolo, tribute, revive, get Megalo back? It's because Megalo's effect to send is a hard once per turn, so you can't do that. So we're going to activate Xeno, pop, Stego, get our Frostosaurus from deck. And we want to keep the Aeolo on field because Aeolo is going to tribute to revive to get Megalo. And then here we're going to overlay, and we're going to make Jurrac. And here we're going to go ahead and detach our Frost, bring back Misc. And Misc is going to get nuked when we nuke the field, and that's going to be our follow-up instead of going the baby route. And I like this line so we're going to go Aeolo, tribute, bring back Megalo, and we're going to end our turn. So now it's the opponent's turn, draw, standby, whatever. Let's say they play into one of the negates. Okay, sure. And then we're going to go Astero. We're going to go Astero, banish 2, one of the Stegos, sure, whatever. Summon Meteor. Meteor's going to go ahead and nuke everything. Bam! Destroy everything. We're going to trigger Chainlink 1 Megalo, Chainlink 2 Drill. So we're going to nuke everything and bring back a tuner. The tuner we can bring back could be like one of the Aeolos. So chain 1 Megalo, we're going to send that last Astero, and Drill will trigger, special summon, and we're going to shuffle back Frost, right? Now this line gives you a lot more flexibility with where you want to go from here. So of course you can keep nuking. This doesn't need to stay on field. So like you can continue nuking, and then as long as you, let's say we're going to nuke again, whatever. Declare Astero, banish itself and Meteor. Summon another Meteor. Bam. Meteor nuke everything. Bring back a tuner. I'll just leave Aeolo there. And then boom. Okay, now it is our turn. We draw for turn. Boom, boom. And we have Misc. Banish 4, get Ovi. And then Ovi can get... Here, let's do that right now. Well, there's so many options, right? Because like instead of bringing back Aeolo, you could also bring back Xenometeorus. You shuffled back the Frost, so you can go into Lars. You can go into Changying. That's what I really like about this 2-card combo, is it gives you, even though you only end on 3 nukes, the follow-up you have here is immense. And that's the most important thing, is like having good follow-up. That's where Jurrac really falters, but this line gives you a lot of follow-up. In fact, you can even do the 1-card combo in a way where you go through the Xenometeorus, Frostosaurus stuff, where you can have this level of follow-up with the 1-card combo too. So yeah, let's say, I mean, you could do the same thing I've been showing you guys with, in this game state, we can do the same thing I've been showing you guys with Dugaris plus UCT, but I'm sure you guys are tired of that. So what I'll do here is instead, let's say when we summon Meteor, we summon Xeno instead, right? And even if we didn't summon Xeno, let me show you guys. You know what, yeah, let's say we do go Aeolo, right? Now it's our turn, same thing like I was saying. We're going to go Misc, banish 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4 could be one of my Megalos. Okay, we're going to get our Oviraptor, and we're going to summon Ovi. We're going to go Ovi effect, add UCT to hand, and here you could just do, I mean, there's a lot you could do here. Like, there's so much, especially if you don't even need to use Ovi's effect, because you can go Ovi, pop, Aeolo, bring back Xeno. And this is assuming you summoned Aeolo off of Meteor, not Xenometeorus itself. Because if you summon Xenometeorus itself off of that, you wouldn't even need to do this. Yeah, and then here, like, also you could have like a baby in hand, a petite in hand, and this would go nuts. I mean, shit, you could even have Ovi search a baby or petite instead, and then that would like get you a lot here. This is like if you're not going to kill them, but like there's so many avenues. That's the cool thing about this. So you don't even have to search UCT. You could have searched search the baby, petite. Oh no, we used petite, but you could have searched baby. Like there's so many different lines. I guess we can do the Changying, and Changying is going to be pretty huge because how many do we have banished? Let's see, 100 for each banished, so 3,900. And then we're going to banish 2 more, banish Ovi and an Aeolo, summon UCT, and then that's going to be 41 now, and that's a lot of damage. Not quite game, I don't think. No, not quite game, but you get to banish stuff. So, and now they got to deal with Changying, UCT, and you still have 1 Astero. Like, depending on how many nukes. I mean, it's not going to be, but in this example, you know what I mean? But yeah, you could have popped Ovi, gotten Lars, and you could have gone for, like, Lars UCT, and then they would have to play through, like, a Lars UCT and a Meteor. There's, like, a lot of options, a lot of directions you could have gone. I mean, you could have gone Ovi search baby, and then Xeno pop baby, get Frost, and then that baby will trigger, get you another Stego, and then that's a rank 4 and a rank 6. And then they have to play through, in a simplified game state, a Lars and a Dolka. So you're pretty much winning from that point. There's like so many different directions you could have gone from here. So that's the cool thing about this, is it gives you a lot of flexibility. Another cool thing you could do is going second. You could just make Meteor that's protected by Misc, like unaffected, and just nuke the opponent's field. So here's how you do that. Before you even summon Stego, activate Misc, get that blanket protection. Now you summon Stego, and there's not really much they could do. There are a couple boards that are like tricky that can play through a Misc. right? Like with a graveyard interruption. But if it's just like on-field interruption, this is just going to clear that board. And honestly, a lot of boards are vulnerable to this. Like this wipes a lot of boards. We're going to go Stego effect, pop itself, and you can send itself too. So we're going to send Stego, and we're going to summon 4 level 1s. And we make Meteor the same way we made Astero. 4 and 1, climb into Velveto, and then a YOLO Tribute, bring back Stego, and then here we're going to go 4-5-1 for a unaffected Meteor, which is just nuts going second. We're going to go Meteor, nuke everything, and bring back a Tuner, a YOLO for the flexibility. And here, we're going to go Misc. Banish 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And here, we're going to go ahead and summon good old Oviraptor. And here, we're going to go ahead and activate Oviraptor effect. Searching. I mean, you could go UCT. You could go Xeno. I mean, shit, Xeno would, like, that's the thing I like about Xeno and Frost. It gives you so many, like, different options depending on the situation. We'll go UCT. YOLO effect, tribute, bring back Megalo. And then here we're going to have OV pop Megalo. Special summon, YOLO back, whatever. I mean, we're under Misc, so it's not like all these summons affect Nib anyway. That'll trigger our Megalo, sending a Astero. And then we could banish, boom, boom, UCT. And then here. So this right here is 3,500, 1,700, and 1,800. Would you look at that? How much life points do I have left? 1,000. Well, luckily for us, we have Grinosaurus. And on the opponent's turn, the second they summon anything, UCT, pop, nuke, burn for 1,000. Or we could do Astero effect, banish 2, summon Meteor. Meteor nukes everything, and then we could do this in the draw phase. And then Meteor nukes everything, and this will be destroyed, so it can trigger. Its effect is, if this exceeds summon card is destroyed, target 1 card of the field, destroy it, and if you do, burn 1,000. So since the opponent would be at exactly 1,000 life points, you nuke everything, and of course you're going to have to bring back a Tuner because you need a target to destroy with this effect. But you're going to summon Meteor. Meteor effect, nuke everything. Boom, boom, boom. Bring back a Tuner, could be any of these guys. And then this will trigger. Boom, destroy this, and kill your opponent for 1,000. And that's game. So you just kill them in the draw phase. Now there's another way we could do it. We're going to go ahead and do this again, but with Xeno and Drill. So here we're going to do the same thing. Misc, Blanket Protection, normal summon Stego, Stego effect, pop itself, send Stego, and special 4 level 1s. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And pretty much we're going to go ahead and Synchro Climb, making our 5, and then we're going to make our 10. So we're going to go 4 and 1 makes 5. We're going to make Velveto, and then YOLO, bring back Stego. And then 5-4-1 makes Meteor. Meteor, nuke everything. Bring back YOLO for the flexibility. And then we're going to go with Misc. Banishing 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Summoning Oviraptor. Again, when I banish these guys, notice how I'm just keeping 1 Stego, 1 Megalo, and 1 YOLO in rotation, right? Okay, future Mike here. When we go Oviraptor, if you're going to search Xeno, that's actually not going to be game exactly. So you'd really only want to do that if you have like something else in hand to do a little bit more damage. The advantages of doing Xeno over UCT is if you cannot kill them, Xeno gives you a bit more. So let me show you what I mean. We're going to go YOLO effect, revive, special Megalo, right? And then here we're going to go ahead OV, pop Megalo, special summon anything. Could be Stego. But like, let's say you have like a baby in hand or like a Megalo in hand, right? In addition to your Misc Stego board wipe, right? This is the better option because, so what's going to happen here, we're going to special summon Xeno. Provided you can't kill them. Let's say they summon a Bestial or something, right? Or they have like some sort of body that just stops you from doing the normal 8,000 damage you would be able to do with UCT. And you can't kill them. Well, I mean, you have like, you're on a UCT in a dream, right? You have UCT and a nuke in the grave and hope that's enough to stop them from coming back into the game. But considering they went first, they probably have a good chunk of follow-up of their own. So this is a bit better if you have the ability to go down this route, because this is just a bit more insurance. But if you don't have anything else in addition to Stego plus Misc, this will not get you 8,000.
If you have a dino in hand, use Xeno to pop the dino to get Frost. If it's baby, that's more damage for game. If the dino in hand is Megalo, you can special it from hand for the additional 500 damage for game, or you can pop it with Xeno. If you pop Megalo with Xeno, that means Ovi can revive Aeolo in defense position, as opposed to reviving Stego in defense position. Then Aeolo can revive Stego in attack position for enough damage for game.
So what we do here is we're going to go Xeno, pop, special summon Frost, right? And remember, you popped the Megalo. Oh shit, yeah, Megalo's effect, sorry. You popped Megalo, so you're going to go ahead and send an Astro, right? Because Ovi popped Megalo to bring back a dinosaur from Grave in defense. So you send Astero. So in case you can't kill them, you have the Astero in Grave, right? Here we're going to go ahead, we're going to make Drill Ignathus. And we're going to go ahead and activate Drill, Detach, special summon Misc. So this is not going to be game. I mean, you could do Meteor for more damage, but Meteor plus Drill plus Ovi leaves them at 400. So if they paid life, that will kill them. But if they didn't, is the way to go. And this does get you a good chunk of follow-up, provided you can't kill them. Again, I would only go this route if like you have something else where this is game, and then oh shit, they have a Bestial. Okay, this is like better in that situation versus like the UCT situation. Because here you have a Misc, so when you pass turn or whatever.
Okay, so I messed up during the combo demonstration that you guys are about to see. I forgot an important step, so we're going to go over that step right now and why it's so important. Before passing turn, in main phase 2, overlay your Oviraptor and Misc into Granosaurus. If you're doing this combo, that means you have another dinosaur in hand, so this is going to be game if you have that other dinosaur in hand. Because this is 7,600 damage, so that extra dinosaur will ensure that you can reach that 8,000 threshold. If you do not kill them because of a Bestial or something, then Granosaurus gives you more interruption. When Jurrac Astro summons Jurrac Meteor on the opponent's turn, Jurrac Meteor will pop Granosaurus and revive Jurrac Megalo. Granosaurus will trigger and it will target Megalo, destroying it and burning for 1,000. Megalo will trigger because it's destroyed, and it will send Astro number 2, effectively giving you 2 nukes. This means that if you can't kill them, they have to play through 2 nukes. You also have Misc and Xeno in the grave for the follow-up. Remember, Jurrac Meteor popped the Drill Ignathus, so it triggered, shuffling back your Frost. That means that your Xenometeorus in the graveyard is live. This means that after you nuke the opponent with the last Jurrac Meteor, it will revive Xenometeorus, and the effect is live again since the Frostosaurus was shuffled back. Also, you have Misc in the grave. Remember, this is a simplified game state after you nuked the opponent's board. They're relying on their top deck and the follow-up from their first combo. It's very likely you'll win in this game state.
Because here you have a Misc, so when you pass turn or whatever, boom, you banish, you could Meteor, they have to play through a Meteor, and then you Meteor everything, destroy everything. Now you special tuner, we're special summon Megalo in this instance. And then we're going to activate Drill, shuffle back Vanilla to bottom of the deck. This is like assuming you couldn't kill them, right? Shuffle special Drill. So when the follow-up happens, I mean, you could have even like special summoned it instead if you wanted to go Meteorus too, depending on like what the situation is. Because in the follow-up, you could like banish Misc, get like a baby or an Ovi search baby. Oh shit, yeah, you could go like banish 2, get a baby, Xeno pop baby, get your Ovi search UCT. Yeah, there's like so many options. You go like Misc, banish 2, I don't know, like Stego or something. We're gonna go ahead and summon baby. We're gonna activate Xeno effect, pop baby, special frost, and then it's gonna be like Lars, and then baby gets Ovi, and then Ovi gets like UCT. Yeah, you can make it like Lars or something. So it's pretty cool. Only search Xenometeorus off of Oviraptor when you do the Misc Stego combo, going second, if you have like a little bit extra gas, like a baby in hand or something, or a little bit extra gas to kill them, right? Because just with Misc and Stego alone, you have to go UCT. But if you have like anything else, like something in hand for Xeno to pop, then that will be game. Okay, now we're going to do Ground Xeno plus baby. So we're going to activate Ground Xeno. We're going to go ahead and add Xenometeorus to hand. And pop the baby. Pop the baby. And then we're going to go Chainlink 1 baby, Chainlink 2 Xeno, baby effect, special Oviraptor. We're going to special Ovi effect, add Misc. Now we're going to activate Misc for that good old protection that makes dinos so good. Now we're going to activate Misc, banish, special a level 1 from deck. That level 1 is going to be Megalo. And there's honestly like so many different combos you could do with Ground Xeno. This might not even be the most optimal one. I just kind of put this together pretty quickly, I'm going to be honest. I think I had like an even better one a while ago, but I can't remember it. But who knows, maybe this is the most optimal one and I'm misremembering. But, you know, toy around with it for sure. But this is what I came up with after like trying to remember the really good one. And I can't remember if this is like the best one I come up with or like, you know, because I could have sworn I don't know. Anyway, disregard. We're going to go ahead and activate Ovi, pop Megalo, special baby, right? And that's going to trigger the Megalo effect. We're going to trigger Megalo, declare, send Astero. Here we're going to activate Xeno, pop the baby, and special summon from our deck, Frostosaurus. Now we're going to summon Frost, and then baby's going to go ahead and summon Stego. From here, we're going to go ahead and overlay. Use the extra monster zone so you can have the zones for Stego. We're going to overlay into Jurrac. And we're going to move Jurrac to the extra monster zone. We're going to declare Jurrac, detach, special Misc. And here we can make an Volzar. I would recommend Logia to stop like Called by the Grave and Salesban. And then here we can do Stego. We have the zones. The most important thing is having the zones. I know some people like to do the Link 4, what's it called? The Promethean Princess, Hida the Fire Charmer, and I think there's like a Salamangreat Link. I know those guys. Like I saw those combos. I don't think they add too much because it's just like an extra pop and more floating. So I don't really like those extra deck spaces too much. Honestly, I'd rather have my extra deck spaces with like dinosaur cards like Jurrac or Granosaurus Giga Cannon, because these you can use them when you're locked into dinosaurs, and you know I want to be able to play when I'm Stego locked, right? That's why I'd rather have like those guys. And they do provide, like for example, like here, Jurrac was able to recycle Misc. So like the follow-up this provides, I think is like pretty good. And the fact that you can do it while dino locked is pretty nice. This can like come up in time. It's just a good dino lock, and it is another pop. You know, it accomplishes essentially the same thing as the, not essentially the same thing, but like the fact that you can do this when you're dino locked is good. And that's why I'm not a big fan of like the fire links. Although they do a good job of like freeing up your zones so you can do Stego. But anywho, we're going to go ahead and Stego. We're going to activate effect, pop itself, send itself, and special 4 level 1s. And you guys know the drill. We are going to climb into Astero. 4 and 1 make Velfito. And then we're going to use Aolo effect, bring back Stego. And we're going to do 4, 5, 1 for Astero. And we're going to activate Astero's effect. We're going to go ahead and search ourselves Jurrac Impact. And here we do have 4 nukes. You might be thinking, what? There's only 2 Asteros. How are there 4 nukes? Because when we pass turn, we eventually do nuke the field with Impact. What's going to happen is, so Impact is 1 nuke, and then we're going to have everything in the grave, right? So let's say we activate this, negate like a Salesman or some shit. And then we're going to go ahead and activate Impact, nuke everything, boom, 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 boom. What that's going to trigger is that's going to trigger our Jurrac. We want to activate it, shuffle back the Frost, so we have the Xeno lines in the grind game if need be. From here, we have what it appears to be 2 more nukes. However, when we activate the first Astero, we're going to banish itself and save Velfito, summon Meteor. We're going to go ahead and use Meteor effect, nuke everything, and bring back a tuner. Here, you have to bring back Megalo. The reason for that is because when you do the second Astero, banish, summon another Meteor, Meteor effect, nuke everything, boom, boom, bring back a tuner, Aolo. That's going to trigger the Megalo, and that's going to send your third Astero. So you do have 4 nukes. So essentially, if you can get 2 Asteros into play, you have access. If you can get 2 Asteros into play, and if you can get 2 Asteros into play, you pretty much have access to the third one, because the first one will bring out a tuner, and then the second one can pop that tuner to get your third into play. So really, when you're making the end board, what you really need, like regardless of what like combination of cards you have in your hand or what interruption your opponent's doing, your goal needs to be, at bare minimum, get 2 Asteros into play and some form of follow-up, whether that be a baby on the field, recycling Misc, an OV in hand. You need to have some sort of follow-up plus 2 Asteros in play, and that's enough. That usually is enough. That's like a very, very hard board for people to deal with, because most people, like a lot of decks, like their way of dealing with breaking boards is, you know, breaking the board. The cool thing about Jurrac is like there's no board to break. How are you going to break a board? It's all graveyard interruption. So yeah, you need to get 2 Asteros into play, and some form of follow-up. Misc in the grave, an OV in hand, a baby on field, something like that. Let's pretend we don't have Misc in the grave, right, hypothetically. And our follow-up is a baby in hand, right? So we nuke everything, we're cooking the opponent, and they got nothing, right? So now it's our turn, stand by main. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and... again, this is not for the ground Xeno plus baby combo, but like literally any combo is what I'm going to go over right now. Any combo that like lets you... where you're... How do I put this? Any combo that like you have to do where you don't really have the greatest follow-up, and like your only follow-up is a baby in hand. You might be wondering, how is baby in hand a follow-up card? Well, here's how. We're going to go ahead and activate Aeolo's effect. We're going to go ahead and bring back Stego. And let's pretend we don't have Xeno in grave, because obviously Xeno plus baby is great. Like if you had baby in hand and you had Xeno in grave, you're going to bring back Xeno off a meteor, not Aeolo, right? But in this game state, let's pretend Xeno's not here and Misc is not here, right? So I'll just shuffle them back to the deck to make it more immersive, I suppose. So here, what you can do is you can normal summon baby. And we're going to go ahead and activate Stego, because you can use this effect. Just during your main phase, you can destroy one card you control, and if you do, send one dinosaur from deck to the grave. Then you can. This part is optional. Okay? So that means that as long as you have a dinosaur in deck to send, you can pop a baby. So you can go... It will lock you into dino still, unfortunately, but destroy baby, send something you know you're not going to go into. Like, I don't know. You're probably not going to go into 2 Oviraptors, so you can send like an Oviraptor. I don't know. Misc could be banished at this point because it's like turn 3. So in this situation, you didn't recycle Misc. But yeah, so it's going to trigger the baby. Baby's going to special OV. OV's going to search UCT. But remember, you're dino locked, so you can't make Dugaris. So you have to kill them the old-fashioned way with Grenosaurus. So 35, 18, and 17. And then boom, overlay for Gren, and then that's game, right? Yeah. So if you have baby in hand, that counts as follow-up because it can kill your opponent.
A couple things before the end of the video. First off, I realized I didn't mention this in the overall card for card or deck profile, is why 45 cards? I'm on 45 cards because I am on a couple bricks, so, but I'm also not like maxing it out to 60, you know what I mean? So I feel like 45 is a good sweet spot for consistency purposes. So I'm going to be honest, I haven't played Modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Since I want to say like Adventure DPE format, like with Sword Soul, Tri-Brigade, like Flew on Deriz, like right before Tier and Sprite hit the scene. That was like the last time I played Modern Yu-Gi-Oh! I took a break, focused more on retro over these past couple years. So I've been kind of catching up. I've been a bit busy with like life stuff, so I wasn't really able to really play Modern all that much when Jurrac came out in Battles of Legend. So I've really started playing, I want to say like probably a couple weeks ago, maybe 2 weeks, I want to say. And I'm proud to say in the 2 weeks I've played, I feel like this deck is pretty good. It's good. My first locals in Modern Yu-Gi-Oh! In years, and I managed to take second place. I feel like that's not too shabby. First locals in a couple of years. And if you want to take a look at my dueling book rated record, it's pretty good. And I've been doing it with this list. I feel pretty confident about it, So yeah, I think this is honestly the best direction to take Jurrac with just one Misc and no Burial Bicorn. I want to take this moment to shout out my friend James Meche. Shout out and thanks, because he helped me catch up with Modern Yu-Gi-Oh! In terms of like, like what's good and like, what non-engine to play for the meta and stuff. So he helped me catch up, and I really appreciate it. Check out his channel. He uploaded this pretty sick deck profile on Blackwing, so go ahead and check that out, guys. And lastly, if you're interested in joining a community of other Jurrac players, come join this new Facebook group called Jurrac Duelists. Not too many members right now because we just started up, but feel free to join. Let's grow these numbers up. And I'm excited to share ideas and see this community grow. So come out and join Jurrac Duelists if you're interested.
All right, guys, final thoughts. Another thing I think I didn't really go over is Jurrac Stego has another effect that like no one ever reads or uses. When this card is destroyed by battle, you can return one face-up card on the field to the hand. This is non-targeting removal. It's really good, and it comes up a lot. Either, the opponent, like in simplified game states where I just have like a Stego up, the opponent will attack it, and then their fucking, like Sky Striker Link monster will get bounced. Or sometimes on my turn, I'll like crash it and bounce something. It like legit comes up, especially if you have like this that was like impermed or something, and you have like a Xeno Meteorus in hand. You would like crash this, bounce something, and then like Xeno Meteorus will summon itself, and you can go into like Lars or Drill or something. So this battle phase effect absolutely comes up. People very rarely ever read it. It's really good. My other thought that I want to get out there is I predict that once Justice Hunters is out, Jurracs will get a lot stronger. That's because that format is going to be a board breaker format, and Jurracs are very unbothered by board breakers. Also, K9 and Yummy are Synchro Xyz Link decks, so Astero can negate their summons, as opposed to like Fusion and like Ritual decks. Yeah, it's going to be a cool thing, is like in the K9 Yummy format, Astero is going to get a lot more value. And also, people are going to be on board breakers to counter those decks, and the board breakers aren't going to do too much to you. So I think it's going to be pretty good. Plus, Pank is a dinosaur, and Pank is apparently going to be good in that format, so we'll see. I do think Jurrac is going to be pretty good in that format. Anywho, that's the deck profile, man. More content for modern Jurrac is going to come out, is going to continuously come out this season. Stay tuned, guys, especially for the Justice Hunters format deck profile. And I'm going to grind hard, try to do well in events with this deck. So stay tuned, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one, y'all.